Let's get straight to the point. You want videos that will scare the heck out of you, and I fully intend to deliver. Number 11. Dan General recently caught this alleged ghost on his doorbell cam. First, a living person walks by his home, followed closely by a not-so-living apparition. It's about the same height as the person in front, so it could just be their trailing after image, but still notice how the phantom stalker actually becomes brighter and gains detail as it steps under the streetlight. The camera also freezes at the 6-second mark, possibly short-circuiting under a surge of paranormal energy. Number 10. This video from New Britain, Connecticut shows that nowhere is safe for kids anymore, not even their own neighborhoods during the day. This girl is keeping to herself when this gray 4-door vehicle pulls up from behind. I can see at 1 minute and 18 seconds that the window is down, and the driver is possibly leaning out to say something. The car comes to a complete stop, which is suspicious because she has nothing to offer a passing stranger. A moment later, the girl takes off away from the van, and they speed off in the other direction. According to police, this vehicle looked dirty, like it had been taken down a dirt road many times before. The doors could only be opened from the outside. Number 9. It's broad daylight in San Jose, California, when these two men creep into the yard wearing black. One of them has on gloves and a hood. The other doesn't bother with a disguise as they enter the home. It looks like they might be unarmed at first, but 47 seconds into the video is when you first see that one of them is holding a blade. At 1 minute and 2 seconds, he uses it to motion to his friend that he is going upstairs. They check from room to room, not bothering to take anything, and not really searching for valuables, and they quickly find a locked door with people inside, 2 women and a baby. The one with his hood up quickly points out that they are not alone. They look ready to run down the steps and out the door, but then they instead decide to try and break into the room, which is now locked. They again look ready to leave, but at the last second, one of them tries to unsuccessfully kick open the door the final time. Finally, they get too nervous and decide to run away. It's hard to tell if they were here to take items or take lives. They walk around with their blades pointing out, and they don't seem to have a bag to carry anything in, so maybe they were doing this for the sheer thrill of terrifying a family. The fact that one of them didn't bother with a disguise makes me wonder if he had no intentions of leaving any witnesses and just didn't tell his friend. Number 8. A YouTube channel called CharlieBo313 is driving around the city of Detroit when he comes across a particularly distressing monument. Nailed to the street sign and spilling onto the streets are what appears to be dozens upon dozens of discarded dolls. The larger ones are piled on the bottom, and the smallest ones are up highest. Who would have the time or desire to carefully arrange them in this display, and what is the reason behind it? Number 7. In June of 2009, mayflies completely took over East Peoria, Illinois, and they're not just in the air. Here it sounds like these two friends are stepping across a gravel driveway rather than concrete. A sea of crushed bugs gushes from under the tires of this news van, creating one of the most nauseating sounds I've ever heard. Of course, these bugs find their way into the most unsavory of places and have no problem with flying from the trash can straight into your mouth. Still, a demise via news van tires seems a bit over the top. Number 6. A YouTuber named Exploring with Andy takes to a haunted house and makes it no further than the 2nd floor before discovering that they had made a bad mistake coming here. Tell me if you think this was a spirit or simply someone hiding off camera.
Whoa.
As they flee down the steps, this comes flying after them, followed by a woman's scream. I don't think this is fake because throwing something this heavy could seriously hurt them, not to mention the flying shards, and they are only standing a few feet away when it happens. They for some reason dare each other to climb up into the attic next. Whatever was following them before waits until they are cornered in a cramped spot and then makes itself known. They barely get away and take one last look up into the attic, not quite believing what they just saw. I'd say there's a 50-50 chance that this one could be one of their friends dressed in all black. After all, I don't know why they would go into the attic after almost losing their lives on the stairs, but one thing is for sure, I bet you or I wouldn't be brave enough to go there and find out for ourselves. Number 5, Pedro Riviera thinks he hears an odd noise coming from the hallway of his apartment, so he makes a video. Pay attention to this circled area just above the bike, because this one is about to get really weird. After 55 seconds, a white form appears out of nothingness and slowly gains clarity. By 1 minute and 10 seconds, it is changed into this grinning phantom face, black eyes and all. And when Pedro claims that he confronted his apartment manager with this video, they confess that multiple lives were lost in the apartment not long ago. Number 4, a paranormal investigation channel called Ghosts of Mississippi finds themselves standing in the kitchen of the haunted Wolf Manor, located in Clovis, California. Faces in the walls stalk them throughout the video, at least 2 that I can see. One appears no sooner than 5 seconds into the video, its mouth screaming soundlessly and then fading away. Can you see it? This next face looks far more evil and much less human. It's screaming as well and bearing an upper row of sharp teeth. Do you see them too? Even if you didn't see them, you'll no doubt see this cross poke through the floor.
Oh God. Oh God. Who's there?
The video is grainy and could be edited, but it could just be the result of night vision as well. A cross moving through solid ground is really hard to believe on its own, but when coupled with the creepy faces, I guess anything could be possible. Number 3, a YouTube channel called Moxleys Crazy Adventures goes on a solo 3 a.m. challenge at a local farmhouse, whose owner is said to have mysteriously vanished. A homemade cross, a knitted rope, and these possibly human remains all spell out a bad picture for whoever used to live here. Moxley wastes no time finding the creepiest room possible and sets up next to a hole in the wall to ask questions. The farmer's body could be on the other side of this wall for all we know. Listen to this part and tell me if you hear a sound coming from the corner of the very same room he's in.
If you're the farmer, the previous owner of this place, and you did vanish, and you're wanting to communicate, this is your time. Whoa!
Eventually, Moxley travels to the other side of the hole and finds himself in a creepy enclosed room. Could somewhere in here be where the body was concealed? Before he has a chance to look around, this happens.
That was the spookiest thing. Whoa! Whoa, I'm out of there.
Perhaps creepiest of all occurs at 6 minutes and 47 seconds. A strange presence makes Moxley's retch, and as he catches his breath, we see this faint movement in the doorway. Number 2, a YouTuber named C's Cray Crossroads visits an abandoned recreation center that's so haunted he can only take a 30-minute challenge instead of the usual 24 hours. The first thing that I notice is a life-size doll laying face up, which is an automatic nope from me. But as is the case with most ghost investigators, the weirdness only makes him all the more intrigued, which is why he rushes forward when this happens. Just beyond where the orb appears is a flipped over table that could have been the source of the commotion.
Hello?
I think this corner of the room could be a paranormal gateway channeling restless spirits. He's standing right by the flipped table, as shown by this yellow leg, when something else overturns. This is under a high-powered camera light, and there is no string to be seen. And the doll that was on the ground before is now sitting in a chair. C tries to gather his thoughts, and a wireframe shelf comes flying at him. Normally, I would say that this could have been thrown by a friend off camera, based on its angle of approach, but an orb appears directly to his right, which makes me believe it's real. Also, what in the world is peeking around the corner? Actually, never mind. I'd rather not know. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and if you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I recently released the number 15 mixtape, but I don't think you should follow these instructions to check it out. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person, so if you're generous enough to hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. Also, don't forget I upload a new video here on YouTube every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1. A YouTube couple named Steven and Steph visit the infamously haunted Whaley House in California and have a few different paranormal encounters, but this one sticks out the most. Okay, so check out the reflection of this picture frame at 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Nothing is there, right? Then, literally 5 seconds later, this guy slides into view. His blurry face is relatively featureless, but you can still make out the head and dark hairline low on the brow, perhaps a boy. Seconds later, he's gone. The room is sectioned off by rope. You can stand at the doorway, but no one else is allowed to step inside. Therefore, it can't be the reflection of a visitor, because as you can see, the room is empty. When the camera returns, there is another reflection, this one different than the last, and not in a good way. The person has blonde hair, black eyes, and most frightful of all, an upturned sneer. Airlines do their best to keep you and your family safe, but when something actually does go wrong and the plane goes down, all anyone can do is scream.